just one piece on the power of interest, because what I hear from people a lot right now when our team talks to you all and acts as a sounding board for making wise financial decisions, if somebody is thinking about buying a house, one of the big concerns that people have right now is, well, at some point here in the not too distant future, interest rates are going to start to go up or continue to go up. And if that happens, it's going to make it very, very difficult for me to buy a house. And I want to just clarify on a couple of points here, maybe debunk a couple of myths, because I think that, if you think about the rates right now, and now we're in kind of early 2017, if I am going to go buy a 30-year, I'm going to go finance a property and get a 30-year mortgage, I can, if my credit is, top notch, I can still get a 30-year mortgage for right around 4%, if not even just under 4%. If you think about that in the perspective of the history of the interest rates and where the Fed's been and what can I borrow money and take a loan and take a mortgage for, that 4% rate is a phenomenally low rate. And so as you see on the screen here, if my interest rate ticks up from 4.25% up to 5.25%, that means that my monthly payment on a $434,000 mortgage is going to go up by $266 per month. Now again, $266 is a lot of money, and we got to make sure that we can absorb that in our budget. But I also want you to realize that a 1% difference in the interest rate and equating to $266, to me, that shouldn't be the end of the world. That shouldn't drive us to then race to buy a home just so we can try to lock in the lowest possible rate. We certainly do want to get the best rate. We want to make sure we've got a good credit score. We want to make sure that we're in a position to get the lowest possible monthly amount that we can in the type of loan that best fits our situation. But it is really critical for you all to hear me say this, that as I've mentioned before, patience, patience, patience. Interest rates are probably going to start to go up. If you own a home currently and you haven't looked into refinancing your mortgage in the last 3 years and your interest rate is over 5%, I would say look now, because I don't think that we're going to be able to get these types of rates a couple of years from now. But as we're planning and you're thinking about buying a house in the next 6 months, in the next 18 months, in the next 36 months, I would be building into my plan a little bit of buffer there when it comes to the interest rate. Maybe add in an extra quarter or half point above what it is right now, so that and make sure that works into your budget. And that might mean that you really can't afford a $434,000 mortgage. Maybe you can only afford a $375,000 mortgage. And so I think that it's important to recognize that. The other comment that I would make here is that just because you qualify for a $434,000 mortgage doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take all of that money. It's okay to look at properties that are lower than that and get a deal and leave some money with the mortgage company and not stretch yourself too thin. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys there. A couple other things that I'll just point out on this slide. Again, you see 4 down from the top is mortgage insurance premium or PMI. Again, if you're putting down less than 20% on your house, or depending on there's some of the different loan structures that are out there that do require a PMI payment that's tacked on to your monthly amount that you're paying, that can be a pretty big nut that you have to pay. So I would really make sure that you're comfortable with your overall game plan and how much you're planning to put down, and what are the ramifications of not putting down 20% on a house. Now again, 20% on a $434,000 mortgage is a big number. So we got to figure out how do we get to that number and have emergency savings behind us after we walk in the house. But there's a lot of other costs, as you see here. There's property taxes, there's different insurances that kind of get you to that total $3,476 per month payment that you're going to be making to step into this house that you want to buy.